Hello. I must apologise for the late posting of last week's gem of the Alshich and the Seder of Nosai. And so, in order to show that I'm really sincere about that, I thought I would post this one very early in the week, and then hopefully by the following week it'll return to its normal time, which is usually on a Thursday. Anyway, so in that case, we're going to move on to the next Seder, and the next Seder is Behalosecho. So I'll read as we normally do from the art school, and then we'll look in the Alshich HaKodesh and see exactly what he has to say on the subject. Anyway, so here is the story at the beginning of the Parsha. V'yidaber Hashem al Moshe lemor, and Hashem speaks to Moshe, and he says, Daber el Aaron, speak to Aaron, v'amartu elav, and say to him, Behalosecho es haneros, when you light up or ignite the lights, because we're talking about the menorah, the candelabra of the Mishkan, of the tabernacle, which eventually, of course, will be placed in the holy temple, the Beit HaMikdash in Yerushalayim, in Jerusalem. So he says, when you light it up, when you ignite it, es haneros el mul pnei menorah yoir shivas haneros. El mul pnei menorah. Let's see how Mr. Rabbi Artscroll translates that. It says, when you kindle the lamp, towards the face of the menorah shall the seven lamps cast light. Okay, fine. But the important thing here that he's struggling with, the translator, is it says, when you light the menorah, the candelabra, el mul pnei menorah, opposite the menorah, ye'ir shivas haneros, you will ignite the seven lights. Opposite the menorah, you will light the seven lights. So if I take my iPhone, and if that is the Mishkan, and let's say that is the menorah, then you're supposed to light the menorah, the seven lights, opposite the menorah. There's the menorah. Opposite's there. So unless Aaron has extraordinarily long arms, that seems to be a bit of a strange task. So let me read to you what the Alshich says here. And he starts with a very, very interesting introduction. And I will now read and translate from the Hebrew just to show you that I'm a properly qualified rabbi. Oig Tochen, another explanation, is Behu Kihine, jumping into the middle here. Kihine, Darko Yisborach B'Torosai. It's the way of the Almighty in the writing of his Torah. That's in the Pentateuch and the Chumash. Lahaster Mashehu Side or Legalas and Nigla. To hide that which is side. Side means secret. I suppose you would hide a secret. And reveal that which is revealed, which seems a little bit strange. But it's an echo of what Moshe Rabbeinu says later to the Jewish people, that the hidden things, that's God's concern. The open things, that's ours. In other words, the Torah is multi-dimensional or multifaceted, and the facet which is available and is the main thing for us is the thing that writes there, and you can see in front of us: do this, don't do that, no killing, no murder, no adultery, etc., etc. That's what the Torah at the superficial level, or rather the first level, let's say, is talking about. But there are deeper, more profound, more mystical levels which are also in the Torah. It's just that they're only hinted at. It's not clear. So he says, to reveal the revealed stuff, but keep the other stuff hidden. So you don't find in the entire Torah in side the remes. So all the mystical ideas, Kabbalistic ideas, that you may well be familiar with in the Torah, like reincarnation, or more fundamentally, heaven. It doesn't say anywhere in the 5 books of Moses that there is a heaven, that there is a life after death, that there is a reward for things you did right, and punishment for things you did wrong. That's all hidden stuff. Your main focus, your essential focus, has to be on doing the stuff that God wants you to do. Live the life in the way that God wants you to live it. Right? As we said before, don't steal and don't murder and don't take interest when you make loans and various other things you're supposed to do. But there's a whole different dimension to the Torah which is not mentioned here, only in the form of a hint. And one of these hints is the question we asked before. Because if this is the plan view of the tabernacle, and if that's the menorah, that's the candelabra there, it says you've got to light it opposite the menorah. That's there. How am I going to light over there, which is quite a distance away from me, unless I've got extraordinarily long arms? And of course, the answer the Alshich gives is a very intriguing one. There's 2 opposites. There's an opposite which is horizontal. So there, like the books over there, if that was the menorah, the opposite wall. And that's, we said, you would need an arm which is very long to achieve that which you don't have. But there's another opposite the menorah, not there, which we were talking about, but there, vertically. And that takes us into, it's a hint at a very important idea, that there are other worlds, other dimensions. I suppose you could look upon this world as the center of an onion, and different, as it were, skins. There are different dimensions. And therefore what he's saying is, you light the menorah here, and by so doing, you will ignite the other menorah that's in heaven. Apparently there is a reflection. There is a mirror image of events or the things that go on in this world in heaven. Just as there is a temple down here, there's a temple up there. Each one reflects the other. If Aaron has the right mental state, has the right intentions, the right sincerity, when he lights the menorah down here, that will automatically generate the lighting of the menorah in a different world, in a different dimension. Incidentally, there's a famous tradition, and the Alshich talks about this, that when Moshe Rabbeinu, when Moses goes up to Mount Sinai to receive the Torah, the angels protested enormously. And they said, why should you give it to them? Keep it here with us. And one of the reasons why it was essential for us, human beings, to get the Torah was quite simply because only human beings can unite all these different worlds, because only human beings are components of all these different worlds. The very highest, where God exists, whatever we're talking about here, because dimension, time and space, of course, doesn't work for God, but talking in language we understand, where God exists, he blew a soul into the mouth of Adam, the first human being. So we certainly have a spiritual component, and it comes from the highest level. And then there is the physical component, that's here. But there are other levels of different components of who and what we are, from the world of the planets and the stars. How about that? We're made up of stardust. And the world of the angels as well. All these components go into a human being, and therefore, because we, and only we, are constructs of all these worlds, only we, by our actions, can unite all these worlds. When Aaron lights the candles here, he's lighting the lights up there as well. We, and only human beings, can unite worlds. So that's a very profound idea, very deep. Only hinted at in the Torah. So we see this general principle of mystical ideas only being hinted at in the Torah, and here's one of those hints. At a more mundane is not the right word, but a more practical level, we do ignite what we do unite worlds, do we not, by our actions and how. In the same way, Aaron was supposed to put the right thoughts, the right sincerity into what he was about to do in order to affect other worlds. And I suppose that's true about many other worlds, the other worlds that we come into contact with. I come into contact with many worlds, I suppose you do as well. I teach in a couple of schools, yeshivas, here in New York. So therefore, I touch the lives of those worlds when I broadcast on the BBC. And I mean, it's another world. I'm touching other people who are listening to me here. The people who are watching me in this little vignette on my YouTube channel, that's another world. We touch other worlds, and we touch the people in those other worlds. And if we put into our performance in our world sincerity, and we put into it passion and enthusiasm, and the consciousness that you are affecting other worlds and touching other lives, then it's in all probability how you touch those other lives is going to be positive. You're going to have a positive effect. If, however, you are cavalier, or you're totally oblivious or unconcerned with the effect that you have in other worlds and other lives and the people in other worlds, then obviously when you do things, the likelihood is that it's going to be extremely damaging. So, an early gem of the Alshich for this week. I'll put this up early, but I wish you all a very, very good Shabbos.